Well, a lot of people have asked for this now. They've asked me, why aren't you still doing your cooking videos? And I thought it was because they were boring and you guys didn't like them, but I seem to have been proven wrong. So, backed by popular demand, this is cooking for people as lazy as me. However, since I'm trying to make my channel better, I'm gonna try to make them look better, even if they are still just as lazy and easy of a recipe. Today we are going to be making Oyakodon, which is like a chicken and egg rice bowl kind of thing. So, let's get started, shall we? Alright. You're gonna need the rice that you already have cooking because you're smart like that. You'll need the chicken that you're gonna be cutting up. They say that you should use, like, thighs and dark meat and things, but I just went for whatever was cheapest, and in Japan it's always chicken breast. You'll need soy sauce, some sake of any sort, it'll do just finely, some mirin, which is like a cooking boozy wine thing. It's spelled M-I-R-I-N. You'll be able to find it easy. You'll need some dashi. I have mine in powder form, but you can get it in like bouillon cube form as well. I'll show you how to mix that up. You'll need an onion and an egg and some sugar. So for the dashi, we're gonna need 1/4 cup of it. So let's go ahead and just get our cup, or our measuring cup, and we're gonna put 1/4 cup into your container. The dashi comes in these envelopes, so it's kind of good because it means that you don't have to worry about, like, portioning stuff out so hard. Pop this baby open, and we're gonna take, like, this is the 1/4 teaspoon, and we're gonna take, like, half of one of those. Drop that in there, and then we'll mix it right up. When all or most of the pellets are dissolved, then it's pretty good for it. It works better if you use hot water first, obviously, because that's how the laws of mixing stuff work, but we'll go with it. So into our dashi, which is a fish-based stock, by the way, so if you're vegetarian, switch this out with vegetarian something, whatever you guys do. We're gonna take our tablespoon, and we're gonna put 1/2 tablespoon of sake, 1/2 tablespoon of mirin, 1/2 tablespoon of sugar. Then, using that same tablespoon, we'll take an entire tablespoon of soy sauce. And presto! Now we just mix this sucker up some, and this is going to be the base broth for our Oyakodon. Whoops. Set this aside for now. Next up, let's deal with our onion and our chicken. The chicken needs to be cut up into bite-sized little bits, and we only need 1/4 of the onion. So let's start with the onion, shall we? For the onion, we're going to want to cut it, and then cut it probably one more time. That'll make it into nice, easy quarters. Get rid of the bits that we're not using now. These bits over here we can wrap up in cellophane or put in a Ziploc bag or something so that we can use them later, but this is the delicious good bit that we're going to be working with now. You'll need to be cutting the onion into thin slices in a little bit. I recommend using a slicer like this one, so you just take it and you go wick, 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 and then it does the thing. You can do the same thing with, like, there's cheese graters that have the, like, one long blade on one side, and you can just drum it down. If you have to do it by a knife, then now might be a good time to do it. Chop it all up and leave it in a little pile somewhere. In the meantime, though, we're going to put you right over here. Let's work on the chicken. The chicken needs to be cut into bite-sized pieces. So you first probably want to, because I've got like a pretty decently thick piece of chicken here, I'm going to split it down the center first. What's great about Oyakodon is that it's a one-pan, maybe 15-minute cooking, maybe 15 minutes of prep work. So it really is super lazy. Alright, so I've got these bits here, and I'm just gonna kind of cut them into bits that are about the right size, you see? See how these, when they cook up, they'll be a little bit smaller than they are now, so you can kind of assume how big of a piece you want to go into your mouth. So we'll cut these into the smaller bits like that. So let's speed this up a little bit. Right, so now we've got our chicken all cut up into nice little bite-sized pieces. Let's start back up with our broth. Right, so we're going to light up our burner. I've only got this one right now, but we'll see how it works. And we're going to turn it down to pretty low heat and drop a pan on top of it, just like that. We're not going to need any oil or anything because we're going to be boiling that broth. So we're just going to take that broth that we had there and put it right up inside. And as soon as that thing starts getting to bubbling, that's when we'll throw in our other things. There, we see those bubbles starting to come up, so let's throw in our onion. Careful not to cut yourself here. I don't know how many times I've done that in my life. Good enough. So we toss these in here, we mix them up a little bit, and we'll let them cook for about 1 minute. Next up, we're going to take our chicken and we're going to sort of spread it out into our broth. We'll just sort of pop this around a little bit. We'll consolidate it down into this middle bit. And then if you've got a lid that's big enough, you can put it right up on top. We'll let this cook a little bit, move it around a little bit to make sure that the chicken cooks nicely, and as soon as the chicken is almost done cooking, we'll move to the next bit. Now would be a good time to prepare our egg. So you're just going to take the egg, break it into the thing, and beat it. Your egg is ready, but not ready to put in just yet. Let's stir this guy one more time. You really have to make sure that the chicken is cooked all the way through, so let's take a look at one of them. Fuck. Seems like it looks pretty good, doesn't it? Oh, it's very hot. Oh, of course it's very hot, Vincent. And if you break it open on the inside, you can see how deliciously cooked it is, and it's so moist and everything. Nom, 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 nom. Now is the time to add the egg. Presto, just like that. So you'll let this go until you can tell that the egg is completely cooked inside of the broth. Don't mix this up now, because it'll kind of screw with it. But leave this how it is for now. Oh, is the steam getting on the camera? Steam's totally getting on the camera. Sorry, guys. But leave this how it is for now until it's just about ready. Maybe another 2-3 minutes? Now you're almost ready, so let's go ahead and get that big bowl of rice that you're gonna eat. And we're just gonna take this off of heat. Let's move this over here for now. And we're gonna take this whole thing and just kinda slide it right into the bowl. And voila! Now you've got your Oyakodon, which is all perfect and nicely cooked and ready. That broth has gone down into the rice and is going to start soaking up into it, so that'll be delicious. Let's see how it tastes. Oh, right, I forgot something. A lot of people say that you should cut up green onions and put it on top, but I can't be arsed. So instead, I'm just going to throw some basil on top for color. Bam. Done. And there we go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've got our Oyakodon complete with basil on top because I couldn't be arsed to cut up any green onions. It looks awesome. Let's see how it turned out. Get some of this chicken with the egg on it. Yep. This is pretty good. Oh, it's real good. It's real good. Oh, I like that. This turned out really well. It's the first time I've actually made it in this house, so I'm glad that it turned out good. Tell me how you did it with your version of the recipe. Tell me what you put on top of it as garnish or whatever like that. Tell me whether you liked it. Tell me whether it worked out. Thanks very much for watching, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, you can hit like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. You can also follow me on my socials. That's the Facebook and the Twitter down in the description box. And if you would be so kind as to do so, you can maybe take a look at my Patreon, maybe throw some support my direction. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll... Ow, fuck.